Yeah, today we're talking about why imagination is real. So stick with us because at the end of this, I'm going to guide you in a meditation to help you experience that. Okay. Because guess what? You already are. You probably just don't recognize it. So let's unpack this. Okay. Because this is really important. You're already getting contact from the spirit world. You have been since you got here. It's a natural and normal part of existence. So let me start by sharing something that just happened to me the other night. Okay, because yes, I see my husband Alan in my mind's eye really clearly, and I know that's him. I have no doubt anymore because of all the proof he's given me. But if you're having things like that, it's really understandable that you are doubting it. You just think, oh, that's weird. I don't know why I saw that, or I don't know why I heard that, or why I felt that. Okay, but that is how the other side communicates. Okay, it just is. So you have got to get rid of your programming that you were taught probably from when you were a little kid that, oh dear, that's just your imagination. You're just living in a fantasy land, right? What you're seeing, little one, is not real. It's okay though. You have an active imagination, but it's all in your mind. Yeah, it's in your mind, but that doesn't mean it's not real. So again, let me give you an example. Last night, I was talking to Alan as I do when I go to sleep, and was remembering something he told me about his childhood. Okay, and it was something that he would usually get emotional about when he would tell me back in the day when he was in a body. So I'm remembering him telling me this story. All of a sudden, I feel all this emotion come up, like really emotion, and I go, oh, this is you. And he goes, yeah, who do you think it is? Who do you think it is? I go, oh, okay, like duh, like I should be used to that by now, right? That's one form of spirit communication using our imagination, right? It just comes up. So you got to get clear on that. Spirit communication isn't a voice talking at you. It can be. I've had that happen. I don't know people have had that happen. That's unusual, right? But it does happen. But if you're waiting for that, if you're waiting for like this voice to come out of a burning bush like Moses, it's probably not going to happen. And you'll be missing the contact and communication that you're already having, right? So when I felt Alan's emotion and I realized, oh yeah, that was really intense for you. And I could feel what he felt when he was a kid because folks, they are more emotional on the other side, okay, than even when they were here. Even if your loved one might have been emotional. I mean, most men aren't, right? But let's say they were. You're more emotional in the spirit world because you have all of your energy so that everything is like heightened. Now, that doesn't mean they have negative emotion so much because they no longer have a negative ego, which would generate that, but they feel intensely. So they're deeply moved. And their love for us is off the charts. Okay. And so a lot of you don't understand that. When you start feeling this intense emotion come up, when I felt Alan last night, I I got really emotional. And if I didn't know what I know, what I'm telling you, teaching you, I would have said, "Oh, I'm grieving or something," because it was this emotion, and then there was love. It was all in. It was very intense. But I knew, oh, this is you. And he says, yeah. And then I heard him. This was really interesting. I heard him talking to me in my mind because that's what he always does, and I'm used to it. And it in the past kind of sounds like me, but I know it's not me from what he says. Okay, so you have to notice, what are they saying to me? What are the thoughts that are coming into my mind? The context, okay? If you're hearing this conversation in your mind. So last night, he sounded different. It was very kind of bizarre. I said to him, "Wait, your voice sounds different." And he goes, "Oh, you noticed that?" And I said, "Yeah." I mean, it wasn't his voice when he was in a body, but it was different. It had a different, I don't know how to explain it. It sounded definitely younger because he wants to be young. They pretty much all want to be young on the other side. But so it was a younger person's voice, right? And I couldn't quite capture, I don't know how to quite describe the difference, but it was different, and it was discernibly different from me, from the voice that I would normally hear in my head, that I know is Alan by what he says to me, because he says things to me that I would never say to myself. He does it so often that I just know, oh yeah, that's you. And besides, this is what I want to make a point to you, because I know, and I want you to know, that your physical mind, your ego mind, doesn't do that. It doesn't just start talking to you unless you're a person that's lived your life talking to yourself all the time. But probably if you've done that, you notice that a lot of your self-talk has been probably kind of critical or judgmental even, or fearful even, okay? Because that there is this voice in your mind that is this critic. And there's also a voice in your mind that is more the what they call the deceiver, that says, "Oh yeah, go ahead, go." And not saying this is you, but maybe when you were a teenager, you might have said, "Yeah, go ahead, go and steal that pair of jeans, because these people in this company in the store, they rip people off anyway." So there could be that voice that's talking in your head. This is not what we're talking about here. Let's be clear. If you are doing your best to connect with someone in the spirit world, whether it's your guides or a loved one, an angel, I don't care, somebody non physical, like that's your intention. I promise you that they are coming through, doing everything they can to communicate with you. And so, unless you sit there deliberately bringing in your self critical, self talk and your negative thinking, that's what you're going to get. It's not going to be you, because your physical mind doesn't even believe in anything but the physical world. Why would it talk to you? Why would it have a conversation? And by the way, try it. Try having a deliberate, conscious conversation with yourself. It's exhausting, exhausting, because you have to kind of literally go from one side of the conversation to the other side of the conversation, like that. It's like what? It's like playing tennis with yourself. How are you going to do that? It's not going to flow. It's impossible for that to flow. So the way you can tell that you're communicating with someone in the spirit world, and I can't tell you right now who that is, because you're going to have to learn discernment, but it's not you making it up. All right? So get it through your head. Your physical mind is just a perceiver of what you are experiencing. Is perceiving it, maybe analyzing it. And a lot of you, I know, you overanalyze. Okay, that's your physical mind going, well, should I do this? Should I do that? Like that, and a lot of I feel you guys going, oh yeah, that's me. That's me. I am analyzing everything. I'm tearing it apart. I'm looking at it upside down and backwards and forwards, right? That's your physical mind. And by the way, stop with analysis, because that's useless unless you're doing something like trying to compute your taxes. Then, yeah, you got to analyze. But if you're talking about wanting higher guidance, you're talking about tapping intuition, it's not going to come through analysis, because the physical mind is zero psychic, right? It has no intuition, because it's only here to perceive. So higher mind, and you all have a higher mind, you all have a higher self who's connected to your soul, and your soul is completely psychic. Your higher mind is trying to guide you every moment of your existence in a body, on the other side, forever and eternally, right? Because that's who you are. So your soul's always trying to communicate with you, trying to tell you, hey, right this way. This is what you planned. This is the way to go. This is how your dreams will be fulfilled. Go with the flow. That's why if you do that, life will turn out well for you. If you fight the flow, you go into resistance, you go into complaining, you go into fearing, you go into doubting, then you're going against the current and you will feel pretty shitty. Okay. And now I hear Alan going, and you know how that feels. So stop with the analysis. Really, what I see in my work of over 37 years is the people who don't do that, their life is magical. They just soar. Like, because they trust, they just know, oh, I'm guided. I'll just trust my instincts. And they do. And even though they will still experience challenges, because we're here for challenges too, they get through them. They solve their problems and they get back to being happy. So if you're struggling, you might want to look at yourself in the mirror and go, do I tend to analyze too much? Because again, the analysis will stall you out with your spiritual growth, with your intuition, okay? Because it knows nothing about what is the best next step for you. All right. So your imagination is the passageway, the conduit, you could call it the hallway. It's like, it really is like this hallway between this world and the higher realm. Okay. Meaning where your loved ones are, where your guides are, your higher self, right? Because it's not on this dimension, third density. It's not in the physical third density dimension. It's all up, right? So the only way it can communicate with you and me is you through our imagination. And that means through all of your senses. It's not just a vision that you get, although you can get those. And here again, I'm going to give an example. Like I'm talking to my dear friend Maria, who, if you've read our book, Supernatural Love, which by the way is on sale for the holidays at our cost. Like you can get the ebook for 99 cents. I don't remember the price for the paperback and the hardcover. They're all at the lowest price that Amazon will let us sell it to you. And we make nothing on our book right now. And we're happy to do that to help you understand that you can do this, that they want to connect with you. That book is magic. And I'm not saying it just because I wrote it. I'm just saying it because everybody tells me. But you go read the 99-cent ebook and you find out for yourself. And then you're going to want to get the paperback because that one is even more magical because you can hold the book in your hand. Okay. So anyway, enough about that. Your imagination is how they communicate and how you can communicate too through your visualization, because then you're inviting them in, right? So if you envision your loved one and your mind, you're basically calling out to them. Like immediately they hear you from across the universe. Besides, the universe is right here, so it's not really as far away as you may think. Everything is right here, not like over there. There's no over there. Everything is right here, right now. So don't believe that crap that people tell you that what is so far away, and of course they can't hear you because and that they're really busy because they're on the other side. Allie goes, "Are you kidding? We are multidimensional. We can do whatever the heck we want. We can be with you 24/7 and be a million other places if that's what we want." Because the soul, when it's not in the body, is limitless and is living multidimensional lives anyway. That's a whole other story. But don't ever believe this baloney that mediums tell you that you're holding them back. You can't hold the soul back. Who the hell do you think you are? You can't. They can be where they want to be. Okay, it's just ridiculous. This is the nonsense that's out there by people, Alan says, who haven't died yet and therefore don't know what they're talking about. They were just believing the other people that taught them. Okay, so we're just here to tell you the truth. But with your imagination, it's important you understand, well, where does that come in, right? Because it's your higher mind and spirit world that will drop that in. So the higher mind is a conceiver of thoughts that jump in, right? And since the higher mind obviously is in the higher realm, just where your loved ones are and your angels and guides, of course it can give you a new idea, a fresh new idea that you didn't have before, a creative solution that has eluded you. That's why I say to you, please, if you got a problem, don't go analyze it. You're giving the physical mind a job that it's not cut out for. And it will do its best because it's going to take your orders and go, okay, she wants me to analyze this and give her a solution. But the solution is unlikely to help you. It might, if you're lucky, okay? Because it's only going to give you something that it already knows, that maybe you read about somewhere or you learned when you were in school. So go digging in the past for what it can find and say, well, you could do this because that worked like 10 years ago. Well, good luck. Maybe that'll work. Probably it won't, because guess what? We're living in times that are quickly evolving, right? Look at AI. It's changing every 30 minutes practically. So you're going to be doomed if you are turning to analysis to understand what you should do next. And that's why so many people find themselves in dire situations. They go, well, wait a minute, I did my pros and cons and I weighed it all out and I calculated the odds and I took, all that information and I made my choice. And guess what? It just blew up in their face. You don't want to go down that road. That's the road of suffering. That's where you're going to go off your path because you're not following your higher guidance. We're just trying to tell you, over here, this is the path. Follow your joy, follow your bliss. And you say, no, 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 no. I got to work hard at this because that's what I taught in school. You got to work really hard. You got to, be logical. Newsflash. Spirit world, completely illogical. Illogical. Other side, totally illogical. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't apply logic when you're in the physical world, because you still need to do that to stay safe and all that. I'm not saying throw that out the window. I'm just saying understand that's not the game plan. If you want your best life, you got to tap into your intuition, because that's the part of you that's like up there on the rooftop or the mountaintop or wherever, above you, or if it was a double-decker bus is on the top going, I can see where we're going. And it's trying to tell you, hey, over here, this is where we want to go. This is where all the people are that are going to love you and help you and that are part of your soul family, right? This is where the opportunities are. It's trying to tell you through its impulses of joy and curiosity and passion and love. It's trying to help you get there. But you're there trying to calculate everything and looking at your flow chart or whatever you're looking at. I've never done that. And Allie goes, I was really smart to never analyze stuff. I just didn't. I just always go, yeah, that feels right. I'll go do that. And those people are the ones that thrive without even realizing they're just trusting their higher guidance. They just know, they're saying, I just trust my gut. Right? There are people like that. There are people like that. They just go, I don't know. I just that felt good to me. I just went with that. Right? That, my friend, is how you want to live. So the imagination would just drop in and say, oh, here's this idea. And it could be literally an idea. It could be like you overhear a conversation, somebody's saying, and something within you you feel it. Then that again is your intuition, because you're feeling it's energy. Because remember, consciousness is energy. And energy, once created, cannot be destroyed. So what you're feeling is that energy, which is consciousness, which is communicating to you, saying, yeah, that's it. What they're talking about, that's the solution. Or you need to go investigate that. That's going to lead you to something else. Okay. Because it may not be the end point, right? It could be sometimes it leads to something that leads to something else that leads to something else because this is an ongoing journey. It's not like it's going to just take you where you're at and go to the next place and that's it. It is really in a way like you're following this trail of breadcrumbs, which is your passion, which is your joy, which is your curiosity. When you do that, you're being your true self. But when you go the other way, when you try to analyze it, try to be logical, guess what? You're not being your true self and you're going to flounder. You're going to wonder what's wrong. You're going to, in a way, feel, now this is too strong a word, but a bit disconnected because you're not in tune with yourself and you don't feel the joy. So you're just going with your logic and you think that makes you feel good because you're being logical. But guess what? It doesn't feel good, does it? Necessarily, unless it's lined up with your soul. So you want to follow your soul guidance, not your physical mind. I don't even want to say guidance. I'm going to say the physical mind's imaginings, because it's making stuff up because you're asking it to. So when you do use your imagination with the physical mind is when you're trying to visualize something, right? So if I told you to visualize a purple giraffe, you would deliberately visualize, probably as soon as I said it, you saw a purple giraffe in your head. That's you doing it using your physical mind. And it said, okay, I know what that kind of looks like. I know what a giraffe looks like. I'll just put purple on it. And so even though you never saw a purple giraffe before, it knows how to put the two together, right? So it can put that in your mind because you deliberately was focusing on it. That is not what we're talking about here with spirit communication. Spirit communication drops in. Okay, it's not something you go reach for. If you say, oh, I want to imagine what, in my case, I want to imagine what Alan looks like, then I'm using my physical mind saying, okay, imagine what he looks like. You understand? I'm creating it. And that's okay if I understand that I'm basically not really communicating with him. I'm basically calling out to him saying, okay, I'm visualizing you because I want you to be here. And now he's laughing at me going, well, I'm always here. What are you talking about? He's like going, you don't have to do that. But that would be me doing it deliberately, as opposed to when I was talking to Maria today, and I'm talking to her, and he's throwing these little visuals in my head. Like she was talking to me about her trip to Europe. They went to Rome, and she was telling me about the Sistine Chapel and how she was connected with Michelangelo. And all of a sudden, as I'm talking to her, what do I see in my mind? Like, I get this vision in my mind. I see Ninja Turtles. And I go, was there a Ninja Turtle named Michelangelo? She goes, oh yeah. I go, oh my God. Okay. Alan was just having a laugh going, yeah, that's Michelangelo, like the Ninja Turtle. Why in the world would I think of Ninja Turtles? Okay. Yeah, my kid, when he was little, was in a Ninja Turtles for maybe 5 seconds. He wasn't that big into Ninja Turtles. But guess who on the other side pulls that out and says, oh, fun. I'm going to throw this in Pam's mind. So I want to get in on the conversation. And that's what he did. And he does it all the time with me and Maria or other friends I have who are open to communicating in that way, right? So it happens all the time. But here's the thing: it's probably happening to you, but it's subtle. Okay, so what I just described to you, it wasn't like I got this big vision and like, whoa, that made me step back. It just flashed in my mind really quickly, like the image of the Ninja Turtle with the little mask over there. You know what I mean? Or go look it up if you don't know what I mean. And I just laughed. I go, what are you doing? And I didn't even want to know what he was doing. I knew what he was doing. He was just chiming in, just his way of interacting. So I told her, and she just laughed, like, yeah, that is a Ninja Turtle. So she was saying how she was connecting with Michelangelo. He was doing stuff like that. And that's what they can do. But again, it can be so fast that if I didn't know that he does that and that that's not me, right? I would go, oh, that's weird. And Alan's saying, most of you, that happens to you too. And you just dismiss it and you just go, oh, I don't know what that means. Stop it. They're talking to you. He's saying they're talking to you all the time. If you really just relaxed, opened up, and just paid attention, you would probably get to the point like me where I go, oh God, could you please just stop? I need a break. It's constant, those images, or in his case, like talking to me, like saying something, and I just go, especially if I'm somewhere like a dentist and I'm trying to be serious because the dentist is probing my mouth, right? And he's telling me a joke. I go, please don't make me laugh. Don't make me laugh. I have to get through this dental surgery. Actually, to be honest with you, he's really supportive when I'm in the dentist chair because he knows I don't like it. Who does like it, right? So he's always saying, I've got you. I've got you. It's almost over. And that's when I have to go, shut up already because you're irritating me. I know it's going to be over. I don't need you to constantly tell me it's going to be over. It's okay, right? Like he's trying to really soothe me. And I have to laugh because I just said, you are not soothing me. You're getting me annoyed. Okay, so this is how it can be, folks. And this is how you get your own evidence of the afterlife. But you have to know how it's coming in, right? Higher mind is a conceiver, that the originator of thought, unless you are deliberately using your physical mind, again, to analyze, to calculate, right? To especially if you're in a negative state and you're letting your mind just ruminate on negativity, because higher mind never speaks in negative terms. Never. It's just going to give you data, like observation. Here's an example. This is how spirit communication works. They don't say like, oh, that person is a bad person. If that would be your critical self talking, not your higher self, not your guide, they don't talk like that because they exist in a place where there's only love. So sure, that person that you just met might not be a nice person, and your spirit team and your loved one may know that, but they only feel unconditional love, so they're just going to give you information. They might say something to you instead, like, be careful, you can't trust that person, which isn't a judgment. It's just saying it as it is. Like, you can't trust that person. You want to go carefully with that person. They're not saying, being judgmental would be saying, well, they're a terrible person. They're a jerk, or all that would be condemning them, judging them. So they don't judge. They're just going to give you information. Like, it might not work out for you the way you think with that person. Guides will say things like that. What you're doing may not turn out the way you're hoping. And that's how guides communicate. They're just giving you the information for you to determine what you want to do, right? They're not going to direct you. They're not going to say, don't do that. Because they know that even if you do the thing, that you can still learn from it. So they're not worried. And if they really were concerned because you're going to do something that could be, maybe, let's say, life-threatening, and it's not your time to leave this world, they can intervene. They have intervened with people. They have prevented accidents. They have prevented accidents for me, at least like 3-4 times, where I could feel like spirit take over and made my foot slam on the brake like twice, so that I avoided being hit by a car, like broadsided twice. They do stuff like that. Okay. But if something does happen like that, that would just mean, okay, I'm to experience something through this. There's a reason I have to go through this. So they won't step in on that. Okay. So you're always surrounded by guides, angels, and your loved ones who are doing everything in their power to help and support you. Now, that said, it doesn't mean they're going to prevent everything from happening that you don't prefer, because they know that's not what you came here for. You came here for the challenges that you will face, but they will support you through it. They can help you get the solution to the problem that's in front of you. I cannot tell you how many times, God, in the past couple of years, I'll be like, okay, I don't know what about to do about this. And then something just comes into my head, and I know that it's either from Alan or my guides, and I'll go, oh, that's a great idea. It didn't come from my physical mind. It just dropped in. It just came to me. Or maybe I read something somewhere and I thought, oh, that's a great idea. I could feel the energy of it, right? So imagination comes through all your psychic senses. Like, you may know about clairvoyance, obviously, like I just said, Alan throwing the Ninja Turtle in my head. So something visual that pops in. And again, it just pops in. And that's not your physical mind. So I want you to kick that to the curb once and for all. That is some sort of communication that's not from you. And you have to then determine, well, who is it from? But I promise you it's benevolent. It's not, negative, unless you are in a negative state when that happens, because that means you're drawing to yourself what that is, because you live in a reality bubble that reflects back to you your own predominant thoughts and beliefs, and they're reflected to you. So, but if you're in a neutral state at least, or feeling good, whatever you get that just comes in, that's not from you, meaning the human physical mind you, it's from the other side, or non-physical. And therefore, this is important, it is benevolent, right? Benevolent. The universe is always on your side. It supports you in whatever you are choosing to do, even if what you're choosing to do is not for your highest good. It'll still support you. And that's why everything is mirrored back to you. It can't not do that. So you're going to get back what you put out. So if it will support you in doing things that are not for your highest good, don't you think it's going to support you when you are choosing things that are for your highest good? That it's going to support you to manifest what you need, not necessarily what you want, because your wants and needs do not always line up. Wants oftentimes are coming from your ego. And if the ego gets what it wants, it's not always going to end up that you're fulfilled. But when you get what you need, and your higher mind knows what that is, and so do your guides, okay, when you get what you need, then that's a whole different story, because now you're going to be fulfilled. Now you're going to be living your life purpose, because you're in alignment with who you really are by getting what you need. And your needs are always going to be delivered to you, right? You're not destined to suffer. That's you're creating that. Okay, you're not destined to be homeless or be broke or be sick. That is not your destiny. Now, some people, sure, may have incarnated to have a condition to learn from that. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about that. That was selected by the person. Say, I'm going to go through this experience to grow from, maybe be born with a condition or even get a disease, right? But other than that, that's your creation to learn from that. So your guides, your higher mind, higher self, same thing, higher mind, higher self, is always trying to support you to get through it, right? And it's just about paying attention and understanding that whatever's happening, whatever, again, like thought comes in your mind, like the Ninja Turtle, like the vision or the word or whatever comes in, right? That, okay, this could be spirit because it's not from me. What are they trying to tell me? It can also communicate through physical sensations. And most spirit communication is nonverbal. Alan says, on the other side, they don't really talk. You just know what the other person is saying. You don't even have names. You don't need to have a name. You know who the person is. It's only in the physical world that you have to give somebody a name and talk like verbally. So you can get to the point, which I do with Alan, where I just know what he's wanting me to do or say, and a lot of times I'm just being with him is all that I need. I don't need constant chatter. What do I need that for? And when I do, if I want to talk about something, I do. Okay, but he's funny because he says he says to me, I don't have much to contribute. You're smarter than me. Smarter than me. So but once in a while, he might say, yeah, you look at it this way. He'll point out something to me. And that's helpful. But a lot of times he just says he stands back and he goes, I'm just here to love you and support you and to cheer you on. And I'm here when you need me. And I promise you, your loved ones are there for that too. All right. So I'm going to wrap this up and lead you into meditation because I've got class to teach. But I want to make sure you know that, okay, this is like December 4th. And we decided to keep our sale open on our academy for until December 8th. Long story, but it's because a friend of mine who has a Facebook group, I forgot to promote it in a group. She goes, oh, can you put that in my group? I said, okay. So in the description box, there's a link if you want to join for a year of coaching with us, 12 months. Instead of $197, you could just pay $97 for 12 months of hearing. Well, it's not just hearing me tell stories about Ninja Turtles coming into my head, but of teaching you how to connect through the veil and holding the space for you and having Alan help your loved one to learn how to project their energy. Because remember, consciousness is energy, and they have to project their energy, their consciousness through the veil. And he says for many of them, that's not an easy task. And so they have to learn how to do that. And you and we have to raise our frequency to meet them halfway. We can't just stay here on the third density level and hope they come here. That may happen maybe 5 years from now, but I don't think you want to wait that long. So, I know I don't. So we want to raise up our frequency. And besides, when you do that, your life gets better. Who doesn't want a better life? If you don't want a better life, then don't watch our channel. Don't join our academy. But if you want to join us, the link is down below in the description box here on YouTube, and you can still get in for $97, or you can get in for $19 a month. But that monthly price is going to go up. Anyway, let's do a meditation. Shifting gears here. So I'd like you to close your eyes. And as you listen to my voice, I'm already helping you get relaxed. Alan said to me, we don't even really need music to take you to the other side. Other people do. We don't, because we're working through the veil. He's holding the space on the other side for you and your loved one. And I'm holding the space for you here. So we are literally building a bridge between the two worlds, and you're going to meet them in the middle. So I want you to just use the power of your intention to expand your energy field. Don't worry. The consciousness that you are knows what to do. Your physical mind can just take a break. You've got this. So expand your energy field and feel yourself growing lighter. And for some of you, maybe even feeling a little denser, like maybe you need to get more grounded, and that's fine. Whatever you experience is perfect for you. Okay, so expand your energy field. You might notice something as you do that. You might notice you feel tingles, or you feel heat, or feel coolness. You might notice that you just feel emotional for some reason. You don't know why. You might see something in your mind's eye. You might have a memory come up. Anything can happen. So, whatever happens, know that that's your imagination kicking in, bringing in whatever is relevant for you right now. Take a breath in through your nose, exhale out through your mouth, and relax. Relax. And let go of all the stress, all the doubt, the worry, the concern, the energies that belong to other people. Many of you are carrying other people's problems on your back. Let it go. You're not helping them. Let it all go. And I want you to imagine, see, or feel that you're stepping into the spirit that you are, that's on the other side, that never left the other side. The greater part of you remains non-physically focused. But you, right now, you have a personality, ego self, which is perfect and beautiful, so that you can interact in the 3D physical world. But you want to expand and remember who you really are. So imagine you're stepping into your spirit body. You can't really because you're in a physical body, but you can begin to tap into the frequency of that, like draw that energy from the fifth dimension into the third density where you are. You can bring that in to help elevate you. So using the power of intention, just do that. Imagine you're stepping into the spirit that you are. And feel if that feels different to you. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. Whatever experience is perfect. And know that in every moment, whatever's happening is always the most important thing for you to be focused upon, or it wouldn't be happening. Nothing happens randomly. Everything in life is an orchestration, and your higher self is doing its best to lead the way. So when you just trust and allow things to unfold without worrying, without overthinking, without questioning, and just trust what comes into your mind, because remember, it's coming from this higher part of yourself, and it's always going to be exactly what you need to know or hear or feel or experience, or it wouldn't be happening. Then you'll know that there's nothing for you to try to figure out. That all your power comes when you live in the now, in this moment, and the next moment, and the next moment. So imagine now what your life would look like or feel like if you were to live that way. Where you woke up in the morning and you just went about your day with grace and ease. And sure, you may have appointments you need to tend to, and you do those. But as best you can, you allow yourself to just follow what brings you joy, what piques your curiosity, what fascinates you. You do what you love to do because you know that when you do that, then life is going to deliver to you everything that matches that frequency. When you do what you love, you'll get more love back in your life. When you follow your joy and you feel that joy, again, you'll receive more experiences or even people that bring joy to you, right? That is the nature of existence. It's so simple, and that for your physical mind is a challenge because your physical mind likes to complicate things. It thinks that it's doing its job if it tries to make it more than it is. But now you understand that your imagination is your access to source. Yes, not just your higher mind and your loved ones on the other side, but to God's source, to all of creation. The physical mind is just a tool. It's just a role you're playing. The personality is the role you're playing. It's not really capable of communing with source, with God, with your loved one. It's going to perceive your communication. It's going to respond to what you're experiencing, but it's not going to really help you navigate that the way that you think. So take a deep breath in, and on the exhale, imagine, see, or feel what your life looks like as you're living in the flow and you're trusting your imagination 100%, knowing that you use it to visualize what you want to create. Yes, that's perfect. But other than that, you allow your imagination to deliver to you the experiences, the communication, the messages, the interaction between you and the other side. And your life is richer for it. And you are more fulfilled because you know that everything is unfolding in perfect order, perfect timing, even when there are challenges. Even when something happens that you don't prefer, something upsetting, you understand, oh, great, I get to work through this and be on my way because I want to clear all this out so that my life will be even better because you understand the phrase, concept, better out than in. If something toxic is still lurking within you or something that is not to your benefit, it's better to get it out and release it than to keep it buried, because only then is it going to create a problem for you. So you welcome whatever challenges occur because you know they're going to help you grow. They're going to help you become stronger, clearer, and most of all, more connected to the other side. Whether you're trying to continue a relationship through the veil or you're simply working on your spiritual growth, which you understand is the reason you're here. Yes, I know many of us want to continue our relationships. We miss our loved ones, whether it's a partner, a parent, a child, a friend, a sibling, whoever it is. We miss them and we want to remain with them, and we can. But remember, this isn't really about them. This is about our growth, our evolution. And they are here to support us in that. They want us to live for ourselves, not for them. We can live with them, and they can certainly live in many ways vicariously through us, but we're not here to live for someone else. So that's why the thought that you may have had that you cannot live without your loved one, it feels so devastating because the reason it feels so painful is because that's actually false. That belief is going to distort you because it's not true. You can live without them. You can exist, obviously, but guess what? When you understand that and you embrace that, you don't have to live without them. But you can't be coming from a place of need, like I need them to be here or I can't exist. Okay, that thought is going to destroy you ultimately, and it's also not true. And the minute you don't need them, here's the paradox, the minute you don't need them to be with you, to be completely part of your life, the faster you will have them be a part of your life, because now you've taken need out of the equation, which actually has been blocking you from connecting. That's what needs do. Need can be such a strong energy, the same as wanting, same thing, needing, wanting is such an intense emotional energy. It actually repels things because you're only going to get more neediness, more wanting in return. Because remember, what you put out is what you get back. So when you put out thoughts of connection and you relish and celebrate whatever communication you believe you're getting, I don't care if you think you're making it up. In fact, go ahead and make it up because that's how you will create it. So don't worry about it. Tell your physical mind, it's okay if I'm making it up because this is how I'm going to manifest it. So who cares? But I promise you, you're not making it up. Okay, now take another deep breath in. And on the exhale, set the intention to integrate this experience into your physical body. Why that's important is that so you can apply this to your 3D life. What good is it to have an experience and it just kind of floats away, which many times it can do? You want to integrate this because really what happened is you just got a healing. You just a piece of yourself just came back. You remembered, even if it was just for a moment, that you're a spirit being having a physical experience, not the other way around. And so that shifted you. So come back and rewatch this again. Watch it as many times as you want to. These videos will always be powerful for you. Even when the day comes that I'm no longer in a body, my prayer is that these videos will continue on YouTube. If my son will help me do that, they will, because I'll be helping you from the other side. The spirit world is coming through. I know this because that was Alan's promise to me, and that is what people have reported to me. Because guess what, folks? Everything that exists in the physical world was created in the spirit world and projected here. A lot of it came through the imaginations. The people got a vision, an idea, and then created it or built it or went on to investigate it, right? Those ideas were seeded from the other side. It has always been that way. And as far as I know, I believe it always will be that way because the physical world is a world of illusion that is managed, created, directed by the other side. And isn't it beautiful and perfect that it is that way? So join our academy if that resonates with you. We can take you a lot further. We're only going to get stronger in our abilities as I keep getting stronger. That's what they're telling me, okay? Yeah, you just come back to our channel and you find out. Be sure to subscribe, like, and share. And meet us here next week, right? And we are thankful and grateful to have you in our life, right? Bye-bye.